I was expelled for breaking into my school. The security footage made the principal cry. The day I was caught breaking into Westlake High at 3 a.m., I knew my life was over. College scholarship, clean record, estited, my mom's trust shattered. Principal Matthews didn't yell when they brought me to her office that morning. She just looked disappointed, which was somehow worse. Security had found me in the chemistry lab surrounded by equipment I had no business touching at that hour. Breaking and entering is a serious offense, Ellie, she said, sliding a disciplinary form across her desk. I've called your mother. The school board will determine your punishment, but expulsion is likely. I nodded numb. 16 years of being the perfect student burned straight, as never even a detention parent all gone in one night. Before your mother arrives, Principal Matthews continued, I need to know why. This isn't like you. I could have lied, could have said it was a stupid dare or teenage rebellion. Instead, I pointed to the calendar on her wall. It's the 18th of March. Her eyebrows furrowed. I don't understand. My brother would have turned 15 today. The silence in her office felt heavy as understanding dawned on her face. My brother Jamie had died from leukemia 9 months earlier, before he got sick. He'd been obsessed with science, especially chemistry. Our parents had bought him a microscope for his 10th birthday, and he'd spent hours examining anything he could find. Leaves, pond water, even our cat's fur. Jamie always said he wanted to find a cure for cancer, I explained, my voice cracking. He had this notebook full of experiments he wanted to try someday. Last night, I found it while going through his things. I reached into my backpack and pulled out a worn composition book, its pages filled with a child's handwriting and elaborate drawings. The final entry was an experiment he never got to do. He called it luminescence in remetzimus. It was about making things glow. Principal Matthews took the notebook gently, turning to the last page where Jamie had drawn a detailed procedure for creating bioluminescent reactions, parent the kind that make fireflies light up. He wanted to make a memorial light for a grandfather who died when we were little, I continued. He wrote that memories should glow in the dark so we never lose people completely. I swallowed hard. I just wanted to do his experiment for him today, on his birthday. Our school has the only chemistry lab in town with the right equipment. Principal Matthews wiped her eyes and handed back the notebook. Why didn't you ask permission? Would you have let a student conduct an unsupervised experiment with chemicals? She sighed. When my mother arrived, Principal Matthews showed us both the security footage. Their eye was meticulously following safety protocols, wearing goggles and gloves, carefully measuring each chemical component. The final clip showed me successfully creating a small vial of glowing blue liquid, then sitting on the floor crying as I held it up to a photo of Jamie. By the time the video ended, Principal Matthews was openly crying. My mom, who hadn't seen me properly grieve since the funeral, reached for my hand. The school has a zero-tolerance policy, Principal Matthews said, wiping her eyes. However, I'm recommending to the board that instead of expulsion, Ellie works with our science department to establish a memorial research program in Jamie's name. 2 weeks later, Jamie's luminescence lab was approved. Now every Friday afternoon, the chemistry room stays open late for students interested in cancer research and bioluminescence experiments. Jamie's notebook sits in a special display case by the door. I still got punished, pant, 3 months of detention and 50 hours of community service, panter, but even that became meaningful. My service hours were spent helping elementary school kids with science projects. Last week, a 5th grader looked up from her microscope and asked, can this really help find cures for diseases someday? I showed her the small vial of blue luminescent liquid I keep on a chain around my neck. This is why we never stop trying, I told her, because someday the light of understanding will reach even the darkest places. Sometimes breaking the rules isn't about rebellion. It's about keeping a promise to someone who can no longer fulfill